Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, I was telling the wife, it's like, isn't it that I have a lot of conversations about this. I'm super interested. So I'm not like busy working shoulder hours, which is great. Because it's like, if I had 6 listings, it's like you just, you like you middle with them, you do your marketing, and then you're on page,
Basically, don't have to keep it.
yeah, we have 6 buyers. It's like you're just split all over the place. It's crazy. I was like, that's crazy.
How's the list?
They're sluggish. Yeah. Me too. Yeah, I've got one up in North Salt Lake, nice place, 4,500 square feet, 3-car garage, south facing, like very nice, finished basement with. We listed 900, there were comps at 900, 950. And that one on Wednesday, had a couple of showings, like some interest. Yesterday we had 3 showings, all 3 were interested. 2 of them wrote offers. The third one was like, hey, things like like not quite ready. They were still interested, but just weren't gonna pull the trigger. Okay, so now I've got 2 offers. I've got 3 showings today. So it's like all of a sudden, kind of, but yeah, it's good. It's like
I've had way more just since August.
really,
July.
yeah. That's, we wanted to go right to school right out next year and. I think 2 weeks and wait. Just, yeah, just so. We're jumping. Which is, I don't know what the videos, different kind of like. Doing it. Everyone's always. It's fine. So I love these. Is that, will that generate any other listings, like if you had other conversations, like, because I feel like once you break into that market, it's like, you get to someone's who I like you, like. Got a buddy who works for the workers, and he's closed. You know, once you get into that, you might have some of those topics. Somebody's got 4 or 5. It's like,
I see what I did. It said this coming week, but then down here it was the right date.
he's just way higher.
Sure.
And, because of his own questions.
Exactly.
Which I know.
I was too obsessed with the Olympics.
There you go. That's got my mind way too.
Yes, so good. I know, it was like 2 weeks of just escaping reality. Right?
Well, it's like,
No, I really can't do that.
It was good though. It was worth it.
right, they're coming in from New Hampshire, right? Like, how am I supposed to intercept them before they get to the point? It's like they're looking online. It's like, yeah, you're seeing, and you're like, hey, we're thinking about it.
Jay, how are you?
6 months later, they're like following up. Oh, perfect. But everybody's like, hey, we need to grab those people. Market them. I don't. Yeah, right.
You want to take the chair for your?
Do the relocation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like a cut of a cut of a cut.
Where have you been? Where have you been? I was just thinking about you yesterday, walking around the outside.
Hey,
Been traveling? What's going on?
Yeah.
So it's like summer thing I do every year, yeah, before I start going camping. Then, mid-September, I'll come back. It's nice, the wife hates it, but I love it.
So good, you know. Good. Where you been traveling? This in Powell, Wyoming.
Ready to roll?
No,
You didn't like Wyoming? I really, no. I didn't go to like Jackson. It was like Rock Springs. Yeah.
Do your parents have a boat to get rid of the cow?
So I went with my buddy's cousins. So it's sweet.
Yeah, really contacts to get the cow part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, boatman? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's like hit me up like randomly. Like,
absolutely.
he's like, do you want to go to Powell? Like, who asked that question?
Yeah.
Of course not.
I had a buddy who he was like, a boat and a crossbow. He's like, hey, it's like $350 for popcorn, for food, like you were responsible for one day. One dinner, like you will cook it for everyone. And then the other nights, everyone else cooks for you. So you contribute $300. It's like, that's so cheap. Like, it's just.
Hello?
Yes.
We gotta take it. Yeah. It's sweet on that. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Sorry you have to look at me this week, you guys.
What?
Aw.
So excited.
Your face.
We're here to change things up. We're getting all of you used to all the changes coming. Okay. Wait, I feel like we're missing something. Well, okay, so Ignite normally is this week, which some of us have found out the hard way. We
It was
moved it to the third week just because of mega camp. So anybody that is over Zoom or anyone that wants to participate in this, it is for everybody. It's not just for PC. Some people get that confused. So it's for everybody. Pick and choose any classes that you'd like to go to. We'd love to have you.
So you can do them on Zoom?
Not all of them are Zoom. I don't think.
Okay, just because I have some work.
Yeah.
All right.
Shadowing a top agent, we have that coming up this Friday and Lisa Cloccabella is going to be teaching that. So those of you newbies that want to see how the pros do it, I highly recommend that you join Lisa this coming Friday, 12 to 1. See, and Path to Capping, Ilario, are you still doing that with Shauna?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna be focusing, kind of ideas around the 75 hard challenge.
they're
So-
gonna talk about the 75 hard, which we'll get into in just a minute, but this is next Wednesday?
Yeah.
3 to 4
No. Yes, next Wednesday.
at our office. And right after, we have Mr. Jordan McQueen hosting our Confection and Connection from 4 to 5, so stick around and do both. What are you making, Jordan?
I don't know, what do you suggest?
Hmm,
I went past Costco and they had like a huge pack of figs and I was like, all right. I could
I
probably
feel like you're gonna pick something up from Costco. I feel like
No,
you're.
no, no,
Wait,
they
He's
had,
getting inspirational, okay?
they had,
Let's
they
just
had-
clarify that
they
right now.
had, like, in the fruit section of that, like a basket of figs.
Mm.
So I was thinking like something with that, but I don't know.
Okay.
Figs
I
are
just
weird.
found the best. Have you been to the Parisian
Like
Baguette?
I did a really good peach raspberry cobbler.
Oh, now that's
Done.
really nice.
Well, all right, that's good.
I'll bring the ice cream.
Raspberry peach cobbler
Either way, I'll.
for
That sounds
confections and
good.
confections, should you be interested. No. Those of you that missed last week, maybe didn't see the slide, but little Gracie was born. And, as a leadership team, we're here to tell you to leave her alone. You know, let her focus on that baby. So if you have any questions about anything at all, contact Isaiah first and foremost, and he'll direct where you need to go. Okay, Linktree, everything is on the Linktree. If it is not, please let Isaiah know and he'd be happy to upload it for you. Earnest money requests, conference room scheduling, printer sign up, anything you can think of should be on the Linktree. We have resources for the NAR changes, anything that we could think of, we've put in there. So if there's something you'd like to see in there, let us know so we can add that. Okay, the newsletter. Who has seen the newsletter? Are you opening the newsletter? Hilario?
I don't know, no, so far.
Okay. Anybody else want to confess that they're not opening the newsletter? That's right. This is in place of the meeting recap emails that were going out after team meeting. So we're doing this instead as a newsletter. So I just wanted you guys to be able to see it. Scroll through it, you see that you've got the recap of the team meeting video in here, should you miss a team meeting or you're out of town. And then it's got every week at a glance,
Oh, this is great.
isn't it? Talks about even Hilario's class paths to capping,
Yeah, this is good.
how to get paid, everyone needs to know that.
So this is the video link. So if you missed it, that's.
Yeah, see, watch
Yesterday.
here,
So I'm assuming it comes out every Monday.
Yes.
Roger that.
yeah, okay.
It does
So
weekly.
just wanted you guys to see it, so you can see that most of your questions about that week will be answered in the newsletter, so at least look there first before
That's smart.
panicking about Jess being gone and needing to ask her a question. Okay, coming soon, tell me everything. We got a small group here today, but tell me that there's some listings coming. Yes, Jordan,
Yeah, I've got a little.
wait, please.
It's gonna get bigger now. I've got a big property coming down. Just kidding. It's a 3-bedroom, but it's got 4,000 square feet in Midvale, 2-car garage. It's gonna be 600,000. It's going to just another month. We're trying to get everything down right now.
Awesome.
So, built in 2014, so newer in Midvale, which is unique, but also like a pretty good price for this.
What's the
one.
address?
It's right off of 7500 South and 450 East.
Okay.
So
Finished basement.
no finished basement. Walkable to like the closest taco stand in Midvale. So they're a handful around. So yeah, you can walk there.
Okay.
We can find you one. I'll deliver it.
You
You wanna know?
can buy my house, I will deliver tacos.
There you go.
Awesome. Anyone else coming soon? Yeah, I'm glad Robin's not here for this bleak little single digit listings that were taken last week, so. Joe Reardon had 2, Jordan McQueen 1, Ruben, Giovanni, Lisa, and Joel. Let's clap for the people that worked. Give me 3 things that you're gonna do this week that's gonna help acquire a listing.
Talk to people.
Talk to people, okay. What else can we do to get our business going?
Call X5 listings.
Okay, awesome. One more, give me one more.
Start inviting people to the fall event.
Good, very good. We don't even have that up here, we should. Okay, Ilario, take over the mic, sir. Talk to us about 75 Hard, the agent edition.
Yeah, so we are starting, I don't know if anyone's heard of 75 Hard, like the whole workout lifestyle thing, maybe you haven't. This is the real estate agent riff on that. It's going to be 5 days, it's for work weeks, so 5 days during the work week, right? Don't have to do it every single day like the workout thing would be. It's probably not just a workout thing, it's a whole lifestyle. Anyways, this is the slide for the agent printout, so this is what you would do every single day. You are able to make up days or plan ahead if you're going out of town. You know, I'll be missing time, around Labor Day, so I'll do some extra work to compensate for that. But we're going to hopefully have everybody who wants to participate confirmed in the next day or two, like supposed to say today, but real estate agents, right? And then I'm also looking for 4 to 5 captains to lead a group of people. They're just gonna kind of check in with people, kind of build hype around the whole, making sure people are doing what they need to do. Talk to people about struggles that they're, dealing with or successes when they're going through this, right? Also hoping to have captains nailed down by end of today or tomorrow. So if you're interested in that and I haven't contacted you yet, please reach out to me. And yeah, my hope is that we have everything nailed down with the teams, kind of some basic structures. And then everybody is starting to count numbers officially on Monday of next week. And yeah, I think it's gonna be good. It's really not that difficult of a thing to do. Those are really, really simple tasks up there. So,
What about those inquiring about some kind of a trophy at the end of this?
Yeah.
Does that exist, or is that just simply?
yeah,
make
obviously
it
bragging
money.
rights and the fact that you succeeded in a 75 hard challenge is gonna be great. However, you will also be entered to win a free ticket to family reunion next year. So everybody who actually completes 75 hard, you throw your name in a bowl, shuffle it around, pick it, and there is a free ticket to family reunion next year. So if you have not been to family reunion, it is great. I would also love a free ticket, so I will be competing very hard to win that. So my name will be in the bowl.
Your captains, are they people that have to commit to the 75 hard as
Of
well?
course.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't just do it for no reason. You have to commit to 75 hard too.
Okay, and are there teams or is this all individual?
It's gonna be all individual, right? I mean, we'll have some stuff, some small prizes around there. We're gonna do some weekly things, like we're gonna tie in prospecting bingo to where you can, win a Starbucks card or something, right? You show up to bingo and you perform well, right? Or stuff like that. We're gonna make the whole thing fun. It's not supposed to be miserable. It's supposed to be fun, right? And that's kind of the goal of creating some teams like, trash talking and, get some buzz going around it once we get there, right?
Laria, what do you say to those people that do fall off the wagon halfway through this?
Yeah, that's gonna happen. What do you, don't even worry about it, right? I mean, as much planning and everything that you're gonna do, life comes up, business comes up. This is not supposed to be like, shame if you didn't get it done, right? That's the whole point of the team. Some encouragement about, hey, I fell off. How do I get back on track? How do I make sure I hit these numbers, right? Because there is the ability to make up the numbers or plan ahead at the end, like if you're going out of town like me, maybe instead of 10 contacts a day, it's 15 contacts a day until I go out of town and then off we go, right? So there's gonna be support, not only with your teams and the captains that we're gonna help you with, but all around the office. Everyone's gonna support each other in this. It's not meant to degrade anybody, right?
This checklist is every day you're doing these things,
Every
correct?
single day, easy peasy.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's just do that. Do you mind if I kind of run through that? real
Yeah.
quick? 10 real estate conversations. How long do you think it takes us to have 10 real estate conversations?
2 hours.
I'll be generous. Call it 2 hours, okay? 2 hours there. Send one CMA, takes 15 minutes there. 2 people to the database. You probably added that with the 10 real estate conversations, right? So maybe I'll give you another 30 minutes to do that. So now I'm hour 2:45. Let's see, agent referral contact. Give another 20 minutes to contact an outside agent.
Explain what that, to just new agents, what that.
Great,
actually
so
is.
we don't know what an agent referral contact is. Those are feeder markets or places where people are moving to. Did you know we can get paid from sending referrals out of state? Also, you can get paid by doing business from people sending you referrals into the state, right? So anywhere you think you may have people going in, I've had referrals from California, Arizona, Florida, right? So you want to check
Connect
on
with agents out of state.
that's right. Or out of your market, right? Maybe that's a St. George market. That you
Yeah.
don't-
Yeah.
You don't want to work down there, right? Personalized card, give you 15 minutes to send that. Move my body for 10 minutes. Obviously, that's 10 minutes, so that ain't gonna take nothing. And then read a book, 5 pages daily. That's so easy, right? How long is it gonna take you to read 5 minutes? The point I was getting at, add all that up, there's no way that takes more than 4 hours a day. So that's only a half day's work. And you're probably not even doing that right now, so you're welcome.
Anybody in this room excited to do this? Yeah,
Let's go.
Jay,
Yes.
Yeah,
you've got a couple commitments in here, remember who they are.
absolutely. We've got, I want to say we're at around 24 commitments right now.
Good.
So we're looking good. Hopefully to finalize that. Again, we'll get you who your teams are. We'll have your captains reach out so you kind of know who to like share some camaraderie with. And then of course, there'll be trash talking within team meeting about people that are on track, not on track, and yeah,
Love it.
rock on.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Who knows what these are and are you using them? For any listing that you have coming up, I highly recommend you go back into your newsletter emails and you print out the last few weeks of this so that you can share the current market and what it looks like to your seller. It's a really, really awesome tool. Get familiar with it. It's just one of those value props that shows that you know what you're talking about in the market. So please, I can't stress enough how important this is, and it's just given to you every week. So get to know it, please. Okay, Real Talk, Real Advantage. So anyone that's interested in foreclosures, working with clients interested in foreclosures, this class will cover the basics and educate you on how that process works, if that's something that interests you. It is, can you see that far? Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, August 14th. And it is,
Tomorrow.
yeah, it's just over here across the street from 11 to 12. And lunch is served after. We know people get there when there's lunch. Hey, I just wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about the seller side with the changes coming up. Just, this is very brief. It's like school writing because it is just dumbing it down and making it simple, okay? So just helping sellers navigate their choices with, you know, commissions and just expressing all that they need to know. I just want to go over just a brief review on the new ERS form, okay? And then setting expectations for your sellers, which is simply just communicating and educating them on what is coming. What their options are, and then the documents to look for in the process, okay? So this is small, I know, it's just a copy of the new ERS agreement, and there's just a few things that have changed in this, so I don't want people to panic about it. Section 2 is just more transparency on the seller's obligations to pay commissions, okay? It just splits it up into 2 parts as opposed to how it used to be all lumped into one. So it's just more clarity around that and stressing that brokerage fees are fully negotiable, as they always have been.
Lindsay?
Yeah.
One thing that Ilario pointed out, just is something noteworthy and different, is it's
Hey,
not.
stop, where's the mic?
Oh, I turned it off.
The section 2.2, it looks like from here, you're not putting 6 and then 3, you're putting
Correct.
3 and then 3.
Yeah, so here is where it's split up, right? So you're putting your listing commission amount here and whatever the seller, if anything, they're willing to offer to a buyer's agent goes here in the second one. Okay, where it used to be in one spot, the total amount, now we're just breaking it up. No one got that? Okay, section 7 just talks about communication being optional. Again, these are all just the updates. Section 8 waives the right for the seller to participate in a class action lawsuit, so we're not in this situation again. And section 16 just has some extra language on enforceability. So those are the only changes that are in the document itself. So let's just pretend we're going on a listing appointment, okay? And we're gonna go through, and we need to discuss these things with our seller. Conversations we want to have is educating on the difference between represented versus unrepresented buyers. Why is this important? Anyone? Okay, so if an unrepresented buyer comes to the table, what are their pros and cons of an unrepresented buyer?
Might not have to pay a buyer's agent commission or even negotiate for it.
Okay. How is there, so that's, they would say I pay less commissions, that's better, right? So what is a con with having unrepresented buyers?
They're not.
There's no professional on the other side to get that buyer from contract to close.
So again, another reason to maybe educate them on what that looks like for that conversation on commissions and how they want to incentivize or not incentivize. It's important to reiterate that commissions are fully negotiable. Inform sellers that commissions will not be permitted on the MLS. And discuss your strategies to market and communicate the offered compensation if it can't be on the MLS. What are the other ways in which you're going to be creative and offer compensation publicly without it being on the MLS?
Sign writers, your website.
Anywhere but the
Anywhere
MLS,
but the.
and nothing linked to the MLS. Be confident and prepared to deliver your value proposition. Part of that confidence comes with knowing these contracts up and down, front to back, right? That shows in your listing appointment, if you know what you're talking about in regards to the documents. Have open and honest communication with the seller and be interested, not interesting, okay? Ask a lot of questions, don't do a lot of talking, ask a lot of questions. Okay, that just taps into the emotional piece of meeting with your seller and connecting with them on a different level. So the options that your seller has, right? They offer compensation or they don't. Okay, and how are we gonna have those individual conversations when they come up? That's what you need to be prepared for in these listing presentations, when you're modifying or revamping what you've been doing in the past. Right, can't even read my own stuff. Okay. So on your listing appointment, that's where your value proposition is extremely important, right? And to educate, be transparent in your conversation, talk about the fully negotiable compensation, what to expect with represented versus unrepresented buyers. Then you start marketing the listing, okay? We're not offering compensation on the MLS, so how else are we communicating our BBC and where? Next step is you're gonna have a buyer agent inquiry. They're gonna call you up. They're gonna say, are you offering compensation? Buyer's agent may ask you as a listing agent to sign the real estate brokerage compensation agreement to confirm that amount that you are offering. Okay, there's been a lot of discussion on this, whether to use it, when to use it, when not to use it. We want clarity around this, so I want you to ask when you're in the situation. Call your broker and say, is this when I should use this? How should I use this? Get familiar with this contract. Okay? There is a possibility that the listing agent will ask if you've signed a buyer broker agreement. They may ask you to show it to them. You don't have to, by law, show them the listing agreement or the buyer broker agreement, okay? You can get your title company involved. You can send over your agreements there and have them, just confirm that that is what it is without having to actually deliver that document to the other party. Third,
Are you ever gonna use the compensation agreement before you send your rep C and make sure put it in your offer?
not gonna put it in the offer because this is an agreement between buyer's brokerage and seller's brokerage. It's not between buyer and seller. So the rep is between buyer and seller, right? So this is just basically taking the place of the typical percentage being on the MLS, publicly being offered. This takes the place of that. This document, just reconfirming what is being offered, since it's not public information.
We can put that on the rep C too, though, correct?
On the brokerage payment addendum.
With the rep C. So
With the rep
C
C.
Addendum to it,
Mhm.
why not do that?
You can.
I mean, why do the other?
I guess it's just a confirmation for those wanting to know before they write up the offer, because in the offer, you're typically going to put the difference between the two if there is a difference, right?
That complicate things.
I know.
So couldn't we just simply avoid the prior piece? And
Especially
just
in multiple offer situations, right? When you want to expedite this whole process, you don't want to go through this step.
I think what me and Jordan are potentially saying is we understand it as an option. However, from a some practice,
Practical.
yeah, practical use, Robin says this so much, something practice. Whatever. Anyways, the way we would use it in like real life, right? Yes, it's an option. However, we have a simple solution with simply placing the brokerage addendum. We're not gonna get in trouble if on the buy side, we never use the brokerage compensation agreement and just write an addendum. And
And
then
I
on
think
the-
it's more of a make you feel warm and fuzzy that there is compensation being offered.
But once we set it in the offer, it's still being
Right.
I'm not missing anything. there.
Which you're likely going to do anyway, right?
Sure. So then on the list side, if someone sends it to me, we say, hey, I appreciate that. Unfortunately, we feel it complicates the scenario. We recommend that you send the brokerage payment addendum in your offer. No issues with that?
Mhm.
Fantastic. So although an option, not a necessary path forward. Best practices. That's what it is.
Best practices, that's what you're looking for.
I mean, let's add in that we can put love notes again, like, let's add something back into it. Give us something.
No, don't do one. of
Look,
those.
you gave me
Don't
John the
put
mic,
that out
okay?
there.
That was your fault.
Okay, well, that's not-
Yes, Daniel.
I went to the class about this last week and I thought Robin was saying, I may have misremembered this, that if you include the brokerage compensation agreement with your offer, they can accept the offer and not sign it.
Correct.
So you have to use the,
So, but yeah, do it beforehand. If you're going to do it beforehand. Don't use it collectively as a
so
bundle.
you have to use the addendum.
Right.
And then in the addendum, let's say there's a scenario where the agent won't tell you if there is,
Yeah.
like, let's just say there's not enough time or
I mean, you
whatever.
don't have to use the addendum if you use that because you've confirmed it between the brokerages and they've agreed to it.
Let's say they don't respond or
Okay.
it's one of those agents.
Okay.
Can you just use the addendum and then put in the additional section? You know, because the addendum only says more or less, or whatever.
Mhm.
Can you just use the blank space
Mhm.
to say brokerage, buyer's broker commission to be 3%? Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't give it back to us, we'll get in trouble.
So yes, so once the RFC's in play, right? You'll see the real estate brokerage payment addendum, and I just want you to be aware of these documents, just so you can let your seller know what these mean, okay?
Just that big.
So this may be included with the offer if the BBC is not offered at all on, you know, they're not offering any BBC. You can still ask for it in a brokerage payment addendum, right? Or to cover the difference offered in this document. So let's just say they're willing to offer 2%. Your buyer agreement says 3%. So then you would include this in addition to, not to replace it, but in addition to, and you would add that 1% in the addendum. Okay? So you're not, you don't want to be redundant in the fact that you're putting 2% there, 2% here. This is all meant to combine to equal your buyer broker amount that you,
So 2 and 1.
correct,
So if you put 2 and 2, it's 4. Like,
Correct.
then they're paying 4.
so yes, if this is what you're confirming with the listing agent. You know, the 2% is what's being offered, and the buyer's agent comes to you and says, I want to collect another 1%, then it has to be done in the payment addendum to the rec seeker. So those combined would be no more than what you've agreed to with your buyer agreement with your buyer. Does that make sense? Questions? Okay,
One question.
yes,
Can the seller, when they see the offer, go, well, I
use
want,
the mic, please.
can the seller, who you have the listing agreement with, when they see the offer, then go say, well, that doesn't work for me. Can you help us? Basically, the seller wants to renegotiate our commission to accept the offer.
You can, in an addendum, reduce your commission. Why don't you do that yourself? Because you provide so much value, why would you?
Some sellers are difficult to work with, and you just want to get it sold.
And now you just did your job, Tony, by bringing them a buyer. You did the work. Why would you take the loss now?
Some sellers you don't want to work with anymore.
Okay, so that's just kind of lays out, you know, a scenario in which you might see both of these documents, right? Or yes, you can just use the one. So. Hopefully that helps. Might make it more confusing, and if it does, come see me later. Okay,
Here's my- they're not available.
it's just
Yeah.
not
No, wait, wait.
fancy.
The addendum. Or the broker.
That's the brokerage.
Oh. Go get more listings. Okay, today's lunch sponsor is House Hawk Inspections.
You ready or not?
I think they're coming this way.
How is everybody? Oh, it's not an ice box in here.
No, that's right. Right.
Whoever.
We can track the area here.
Like last time I was here, I'm like, they need to rebalance this place now, like, they need to rebalance this
Yeah.
place.
Hey, do we have? Okay.
I don't probably need. Okay, I need a microphone. Oh, that's just probably, for recording. Hello, everybody. New faces, some familiar ones. How are you? I'm Andrew, Houseock Inspections. Proud to be, back in the office. By a show of hands, who comes in here like daily?
No,
Weekly?
no one.
Yeah, okay, all right, here we go, here we go. Cole's, we're partnering up today, he's got some creative opportunities to help your buyers and sellers, mainly buyers and sellers, get closing costs covered, so. Want to turn over the time to him, he's provided the food, I provided the drinks, low sugar, you know, we like that around here. So, yeah, happy to help, Andrew Houseock Inspections, general contractor as well, just say that because there's a large variety of inspectors up there, as we all know, right? Who can take care of your clients. Sorry, just thinking of some stories this week, you know,
So
just
you're
a little bit of that, not a lot of it, you know.
Or all the-
Yeah, mainly trying to grow my inspection business this year, so, I enjoy managing myself, and giving clients the best customer service that they deserve.
Do you still inspect pools?
Yeah. Sure. My wife's actually looking into starting a pool franchise after we found out you are on like a 2-year wait list to get a pool. So.
And everyone's contractor, it sucks. Yeah.
So there is a lack of craftsmanship, craftsmanship is dead. No, it's not, because, there's still good craftsmen out there, but it's harder to manage the subcontractors. The good ones get super busy. I'm not out there swinging a hammer, but happy to pair you, you know, with people that I know, like, and trust. I know, like, and trust myself, and, I know, like, and trust Cole, so looking forward to hearing more from Cole and.
He's gonna tap you into the.
And get it locked in. All right, we'll be hanging out afterwards as well. If you guys need anything, just phone call me this way.
Yeah. It's kind of weird talking into my hearing or anything come out of it.
He wants to get his computer synced in.
If possible, if not, it's totally okay. So my name's Cole, I'm with Arcasa. We really haven't historically ever worked with real estate agents, but we're exploring the idea of doing it. And I figured before we,
La Casa,
Arcasa.
different than the vacation rental.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
about cost.
Yeah, very different. So we primarily focus, we're a fintech company that helps lenders do energy efficiency mortgages. There's a lot of nuance for a lot of the different loan products from Fannie and Freddie and from the Govy loan products. And we help give them the easy button for that. Traditionally, we've been working with loan officers, with home inspectors, 2 of our founders, they were part of Simple Nexus, which is a lending POS. But I figured before we kick off into exploring how to work with real estate agents, why not just come and talk to some real estate agents? Because you guys are the experts in your own field, and you would know what would be interesting to you and what would not be interesting. I have some visuals, but it's okay if we can't pull them up. Long story short, energy efficiency products, they're great. Solar, heat pump, hot water heaters, heat pump furnaces, insulation, but most buyers, homeowners don't have the cash to put them in. And if you want to go and get it and afterwards, you're going to finance it, you're paying a high sales commission cost, and you're paying high financing fees for that. The perfect example of that is solar. I don't know if anyone here has dabbled in the solar industry, but if you have, you know that solar sales reps make pretty high commissions. Here in Utah, the average commission is $6,200 for a solar system, and the finance that solar system generally goes through a secondary financer, and those origination fees are about 42%. So it's not a great way to do it. So we've been moving that like into the home transaction. We've primarily integrated with lenders. We can integrate with any lender that you guys worked with or can send you to one of our lenders. But the biggest thing that we help do is we can either reallocate some of the arbitrage funds that would have been going to a solar sales rep or to a secondary financing, and we can come in and cover closing costs. or we can fund discount points to bring interest rates down. Yes,
I mean, you say we cover closing costs in
Yes.
real estate. That's like our title fees, home warranty, but I think you're talking about something else.
no, that's correct. So one of the lenders we work with, their average loan amount is $380,000. Their average closing fees is about $11,000 for that. We can come in and cover that $11,000. We do that in a couple different ways with lenders. Some, we do it as an interested party contributor, which does impact those limits. So you have to keep that in mind. Other ways, we do it's an off settlement statement with the lender, and they just translate that into lower interest rates. What this turns into for an agent, and what I want to get your guys' opinion on is this something that's attractive for you? It's attractive to a lender because they can say, hey, I can offer a lower interest rate and decrease your utility bills, or get you some of these things you want, or cover your closing costs. But for a real estate agent, is that helpful for you to be able to say, hey, I'm totally speculating here, with the NAR settlement, I have to justify my commission a little bit more to you, but I can also help unlock some of these things for you. And so there's three main packages that we help provide, which is covering closing costs. And so if they add solar or one of these other features to their homes, we can cover the closing costs. And generally speaking, the savings that they see in their utility bill is more than the increase in the monthly mortgage payment. So it's overall a net positive for them, and they didn't have to have those closing costs financed in. Or what's really attractive right now is decrease interest rates. If you as an agent can say, hey, I know you've been waiting for rates to come down, but the problem is when rates come down, everyone's coming back into the market and you're fighting. What if I can get you that half a point, that point, 1.5 lower today? Here's how we would do that. So yeah, that's who we are. We stem from the energy efficiency industry that we think is broken, and we're trying to bring it into the transaction of people that are already involved at the home transaction. Yes.
What about windows, replacement windows? I got a $22,000 bid for new windows with the buyer one.
Yeah, so we can do that. We specialize more solar, heat pump furnaces, insulation. The reason for that is there's also some really great loan programs out there. The Freddie Green Choice, we're very close with Freddie's team. The Fannie Home Style Energy. This can work with any FHA loan, any conforming conventional loan. There's ways that it can work with jumbo as well. This is so Windows, it would be more of a one-off, but we could probably assist and give guidance on it if we don't do it ourselves.
Is the cost of the solar rolled into the same loan or?
Yep. So that's, yes, same monthly payment. So right now, the traditional way solar is sold is someone knocks on your door, they say, hey, you have a $250 monthly electric bill. What if I sold you a $220 loan and we replace that? This is, let's put it all into the mortgage. So that way the ROI is faster, and you also, they get to enjoy that tax credit more immediately.
So the house would have to appraise at the higher rate or the higher price to account for the upgrades that you're including, right?
Yes, so that's what's really interesting is, and this is where we started to specialize in the last 2 years for this. The FHA has a policy called the SWT, Solar Wind Technology Policy. We can go above 20% of the appraisal value of the house for these upgrades. We don't get anywhere close to 20%, and that's how we can also bake into that cost, the closing costs or the budget for discount points. Freddie Mac, their program is 15% above. Fannie Mae, it's 15% as well. And then on a non-conforming, we work closely with this group called the BIA, which is the Home Builder Energy Efficiency Academy. We actually just hired on one of their staff members, and we have a network of appraisers across the nation. We work with our lenders to make sure that the appraisals are happening. Really, solar energy efficiency, it's been trying to get, I'm sure as a realtor, you maybe have been approached with like, hey, what if you got solar or things like that? But that industry doesn't understand the complexity, the regulation, the nuance of what a home transaction, what a loan is. And that's where we've come in and tried to specialize in that space. That's the only, we don't have any other sales channels besides.
The HOA also has to approve that.
Yeah, so depending on the state, and that's another area that we specialize, we have a couple programs, like our Clean Clothes program that ensures that all of that nuance is taken care of. The other great thing is everything that we do happens after closing. So it doesn't impact closing, doesn't delay closing. We have by guidelines 120 days to make this work. If for some reason we come up short, it is on us and we just empty the escrow account back into the principal of the loan. And that actually ends up being a really good thing for the borrower if that ends up happening. It hasn't. But it all happens afterwards. So we are coordinating with the HOA. So if you introduce this to a potential buyer, and for some reason it doesn't work, Andrew comes in and says the roof is not in great shape, and they don't want to also spend money on the roof, or they do want to, and we can incorporate that as well and make it a deal saver. It doesn't kill your deal. It doesn't. They can still move all the way forward, and then the deal go through cleanly without us messing it.
I was just curious, what's your average cost for solar to add that on?
So it depends the size and the system. That's why we work with Andrew and Home Inspectors, is because we want to look at the data of the house. And so generally speaking, what we're kind of envisioning with realtors is you guys introduce the idea. Maybe one of the reasons why a buyer is interested in working with you, they start making offers on homes. We can actually model what payments would be differently. We then work with the home inspector like Andrew, he's been great, and we look at the data on the home to see what is the best fit for that home, and for the client's needs. And then that kind of depends on the cost. Solar, in the world of solar, is price per watt. We're competitive to direct sales channels. When you're buying from a door-to-door rep, you're seeing like $340 to $550 price per watt. We're more in the twos, because we work directly with our network across the nation.
You have a quick example?
Of a project?
Yeah, just.
We have of like how numbers or of the houses?
Whatever would help us understand it in
Yeah, let me
2
see.
minutes or less.
Yeah, and cut me off if I'm going too far. Let's see here. So here's kind of an example. You're buying a traditional loan, and they're excited about the house. These numbers are a little outdated right now, because we're not in the sevens. But their overall payment comes to $3,632. By adding solar, we are able to, we're very conservative. We're not a solar sales rep that's going to say, we're going to cut your electric bill down to zero. We do conservative numbers, so that way when it overperforms, your clients are really happy. And so we say, hey, with our discount budget, we can help buy down the interest rate to 5.6, which is going to decrease your monthly payment. Taxes, your M&I, your taxes are going to stay the same. We're going to save you about $75 a month. We're going to unlock a tax credit for that client if they have the taxable burden, because there's a 30% ITC tax credit. And so what you're really saying is you as a realtor could say, hey, this house that you're dreaming of, anyone can get you this. I think I can get you in there for this. Let's talk. That's kind of what we're dreaming about, of maybe this would be helpful for a realtor. We have a pretty extensive marketing team that is willing to put on marketing aspects for you guys that are individual for your own reach out. Yeah.
If you sell the house, is the seller transferable to the new?
Yeah,
owner,
so.
or do they have to do the same type of loan or how?
No, so that's kind of the beauty of this. This is considered real property, not a liability on the house. There's no lien. One of the reasons that first got us interested in this a couple of years ago is if you buy a solar and you finance it with a different deal, different financing, there's a lien on the house. There's a secondary mortgage, and I'm sure you guys have come across that has to be paid off at some point. If it's a lease, there's a lien on the house. If there's a PPA, there's a lien on the house.
PPA is,
Power purchase agreement, somebody else owns the solar and then you buy the electricity from them. It's the primary source of what SunPower, a nationwide installer, did for 18 years, and they just went bankrupt about 3 days ago. Because it doesn't work in today's market. So yeah, it's real property. It increases the appraisal value of your house. We're seeing 2.5% to 4% increase appraisal value of the house, which is attractive for when you go to sell it. It doesn't work for everyone. Our mindset is when it works, take advantage of it. If it doesn't, don't use it.
So a quick clarification, you're adding solar to the home, increasing the price of the property, increasing the amount of the loan, but using some additional money that's in there somewhere baked in with the rebates for
I
the.
assume that normally what you would pay in a commission to a salesperson is what they're using to
Correct.
buy down.
You're right, and then you buy down the rate or cover the closing costs or something to
Correct.
package it, right?
So we, exactly, that's spot on. We've had to build a really close relationship with the GSEs and with Fannie and Freddie and with the IRS, because we're doing this at scale. We're not trying to sneak a few transactions through and be like, oh, no red flags. Because our lenders can't afford to have their loans repurchased. And therefore, we have worked with them of what is the acceptable retail price of solar. Because it's not unlimited. We can't sell someone a $15,000 solar system, but at $90,000 of commission that gets reallocated. But we can, in many cases, generally bring $7,000, $11,000, $15,000 to the table in the transaction. And the idea here is especially if you have a client that is thinking they may get one of these products down the road. Instead of doing it where it's not real property and it's a liability and money's going to the a rep instead, why not bring it back to the table for them? We're really starting to hit off with home inspectors, like Andrew, because buyers are asking, hey, what about my house? Is it energy efficient? What do you think? This is another holistic way to be part of it, but there is a limit to that. And that's where there's a lot of solar companies out there. And we are not a solar company, we're a fintech company, and we work with a network nationwide. And we have an escrow services to make sure that everything goes through clearly and that it's meeting all regulations and that's compliant.
Is it purchases only or you do refinances as well?
So again,
Purchases only or you do refi as well?
we have seen a massive uptick in refis, because loan officers have to convince, hey, I can reduce your monthly payment by $215 a month, but it's gonna cost you $10,000 to get a new rate and term mortgage. If we can cover the closing costs, they get really excited. Because now it's, hey, I can decrease my monthly mortgage payment by $210, plus I can decrease my utility bill maybe by half. We can go all the way, but we like to be conservative. Plus I have access to a 30% tax credit. So we are seeing a massive uptick in refis. If you're not, the best way to buy these products is with cash. Most folks don't have $10,000 for a heat pump, $15,000, $20,000 for solar, plus their closing costs. That's why we're doing it here.
so heat pumps are included.
Yeah, we do most, and that's where it gets really interesting working with Andrew. Andrew will have these beautiful reports that shows all the defects of the house, and a lot of those may be they could be perceived as deal killers. Because someone's thinking, gosh, I'm putting every dime I have just to get into this house. I'm a little worried about some of the things that are there. That's where we make a great partnership. It's like, actually, your loan may work really well to improve the value of your house, make it more comfortable, and not have it come out of pocket.
Let's say it's a $15,000 solar, because they're getting a 30% tax credit, they basically got their solar for 5,000 less.
Yeah, so, and what's wild, we were nervous when we had this call, but we reached out to the authorities. The budget that we put in, we call it the Arcasa rebate for closing costs, or buying discount points. Can that count towards the full cost of solar and therefore the 30% is on that full cost? And the answer is yes. There are specific ways for us to be compliant with that. But if it's a $15,000 system and we're bringing $10,000 to the table, that would have been going to a sales rep or would have been going to a finance company. It is $25,000 that you calculate the 30%. That's why you can see a number here of $11,000 of a tax credit. And your client has 4 years to realize that. So if they don't have the taxable burden in year one, they can realize that over 4 years. It is a credit, not a rebate. You know, if you're moving someone into a home that doesn't have income, you know, a fixed income elderly individual, that tax credit doesn't work for them. And that's really important to know because a lot of the solar industry has sold the elderly on this huge tax credit that they aren't eligible for.
And instead of the old water heaters, the new what do you call them? Instant hot water, are they part of this or not?
Yeah, so we recently started a division that we go state by state, county by county, city by city of what rebates are available. For instance, in California, and Southern California, there's an $8,000 rebate for heat pump hot water, no, I'm sorry, natural gas hot water heaters. And so that's something that we can incorporate and we also unlock that rebate. So it turns into no change in the mortgage at all, but there's certain things that we enable with that. Northern California, the rebate is if you switch from gas and go to electric heat pumps, there's another $8,000 rebate. Is that smart that California is working against itself in two different parts with their different initiatives? I don't know, but we check to see what rebates are out there to give. That's really what I want to, let me know if I'm going over time. I don't want to monopolize things. But we really want to find a way to work with agents to make you the hero in the conversation, that after the transaction, it's, oh my goodness, my agent was able to find these random rebates and opportunities and things for like that for me. And then that helps you with the word of mouth with, their circle.
That's quite, you're a fintech, so you're basically replacing our lender.
No, we are not a lender. We can work with your lender. Lenders are funny. Sometimes they embrace our integrations and products very well, because they see the value in it. Sometimes they don't. So we have lenders that about 8 across the nation that are on all 50 states. We've got several more here in Utah. And so if your lender is not wanting to integrate, there's the opportunity to have them work with one of our lenders. And that's the most tricky spot that I'm trying to figure out how to work with real estate agents, because I don't want it to come in and it be taking a loan from a loan officer who I'm finding out in this industry may be the spouse of a real estate agent. I don't want to do that.
But the best way to be would be to introduce you to our preferred lender, create a relationship between you and our preferred lender.
Yes.
That way, when a deal does come, everyone's on the same page on that.
But if you have a deal, so it does take time for us to integrate, generally about 30 days with a lender. So if you have someone who has an offer accepted on a home and you're like, ooh, they may back out, but this could save the deal. We have lenders today that you can make that work with. But exactly, to an introduction and we can make that work. What lenders are you guys primarily working here with?
Fairway.
Fairway. Oh yeah, Fairway's great. Awesome.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thanks
Thank you
for-
guys for the time.
Being here, and thanks for bringing lunch, you guys.
I want to thank Andrew. He's great. One of the reasons why we started focusing working with him is his quality of work and his quality of reports. It allows us to do our job really easily. So work with people like Andrew. He's awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Jimmy John's is just in the back.
Chick-fil-A.
Thank you.
Always gotta sneak up Jimmy. Should still be hot, but with that air back there. So,
That's it, gang, any questions?
We do.
Yeah.
We have one, Karen wanted us to ask, if you're under contract with, a current fire broker agreement, you don't have to do a new.
No,
fire-
not if you're under contract. Prior to the 17th. you're under contract after the 17th, then you need to add the addenda.
I just got an offer, with the response time of tonight, they've also added that, so if I accept and sign this, is it the, what's on the MLS plus the additional?
Explain your documents that you're.
The document is the, whatever one that I'm not gonna use, so I don't pay a lot of attention to it.
Jordan, you're so helpful.
The compensation.
The broker one.
Okay, so let's repeat that again, now, please, now that there's a little more clarity around what you're talking.
I have a broker compensation that just came in for signatures and an offer. So if I accept the offer, the MLS states the compensation. So if I sign the broker compensation, is that addition to what's on the MLS?
No,
That would be, should just be confirming.
no, but you can also, there's an additional terms line where you can do any further clarification, just to be sure. Within the document.
Because the broker compensation later, next week, you have the broker compensation at 2%, the offer is 2%.
They're sending it over because they're panicked that
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
sure, right.
public information, but
Thanks.
yes,
I've seen on the MLS and I think somewhere else, that all these changes occurred tomorrow.
yeah, on the MLS, the 14th is when, yes, changes to the MLS are happening.
Then what's the deal?
But the 17th is official, right? So they're just trying to get ahead of it.
Giving us a 3-day grace
17th
period.
is the NAR rule where everything changes. Yeah, the MLS is taking off all that they need to, all the fields and everything, so.
Good enough.
Anything else? Okay, enjoy your lunch.
Printed out that round.
Yes, I'm doing good. No, I haven't got you every, yes.
Okay, so.
I haven't got you any.
Thanks, Joey, that's what you have.
But- This is probably really good, and I really trying to make my first few sentences in my spot. If the rates go down.
Mike's trying to do it.
For us.
How big is the law?
Players gave me a couple that message.
There's that, Danielle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's, like that. But all my stuff is under contract.
Just like,